Hey my friends, welcome back to the channel, where we dive deep into the darkest endings of your favorite films. And today, we're tackling Five Nights at Freddy's 2, the 2025 sequel that's got everyone talking about possessed puppets, family secrets, and Springtrap's terrifying return. So the movie starts in 1982 at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, where Charlotte Emily witnesses a boy being lured into the back room by the restaurant's founder and serial killer, William Afton. And despite her pleas for assistance being ignored by the adults present, she ventures into the back and sees Afton attempting to murder the boy. So as she carries the boy back to the main stage, she is stabbed in the back by Afton just as she reappears. Well, after a scream of anguish directed at the customers, she succumbs to her wounds. When shortly thereafter, a puppet-like animatronic known as the Marionette emerges from its compartment holding Charlotte's corpse. And like that, following the incident, the location shuts down, although a new location opens up shortly after. Then 20 years later, in 2002, and a year after the events of the first film, the animatronic stories and related murders have turned into folklore, leading to a recurring local festival known as Fazfest. And Vanessa, William's daughter, copes with psychological trauma from her father's ex. Meanwhile, Abby, Mike's younger sister, becomes fascinated with the animatronics, whom she calls her friends. Then after being bullied at school by her teacher, she attempts to repair the animatronics, discovering the likely absence of the souls within them. So Mike eventually gives her a keepsake, a talking toy called the Foztalker, but when Mike comes outside, he notices a pamphlet with a phone number at Freddy's as they leave. Meanwhile, in the paranormal investigation show Spectral Scoopers, hosts Rob, Lisa, and Alex visit the site of the 1982 incident, accompanied by former security guard Michael. So during an independent exploration, Lisa deactivates a music box in the basement, which awakens the Marionette possessed by Charlotte's soul. So the Marionette then manipulates the new toy animatronic mascots, leading to the deaths of the three hosts and Lisa's possession by the Marionette. Then the Marionette attempts to kill Michael, who narrowly escapes with luck. On the other side, Abby, using her Foztalker, hears from Toy Chica, who directs her to the original location with an offer to repair her science project. So the following day, Abby reveals her completed project to Mike and Vanessa. But Vanessa becomes concerned about it as Abby discusses details of the location's history, including Charlotte's murder. However, Mike, already informed after calling Charlotte's father Henry, dismisses Vanessa's explanation, believing she is still suffering from her father's trauma. Then as Mike drops Abby off at school and visits Henry, who is distributing flyers about his daughter's murder. Meanwhile, Vanessa is captured by Charlotte when she goes there to investigate. Actually, Charlotte wants a code from her to leave the restaurant, so to get the code, she threatened Vanessa with Abby's life. Well, after Abby's teacher, Mr. Berg, breaks her science project, Abby came to seek assistance from Toy Chica, who will pose as her project if Abby inputs a code. Actually, this code allows the animatronics to leave their area, who are now restricted to leave the restaurant. Then as the toy animatronics begin exploring the town, with Toy Chica accompanying Abby to the science fair and murdering Mr. Berg. Then Mike, after learning from Abby's school that she is missing, realizes that she might be at the original location and heads there. On the other side, shortly after being released, the toy animatronics wreak havoc across the town, attempting to kill multiple families in their homes. So attempting to stop the massacres, Mike stays at the location to track the animatronics, fights them and disable their connection, while Vanessa goes through town and takes them on one by one. Then as Toy Chica and the Marionette, who is hiding inside of Chica's chest compartment, make their way towards the Schmidt home, the Marionette possesses Abby. Meanwhile, realizing the danger at hand, Mike goes to the newer location and makes a desperate plea to the children's souls that haunt the location to help save Abby. And then as Mike and Vanessa make their way to the house, Mike uses a music box given to him by Henry earlier to put the Marionette to sleep and free Abby from her control. After which, the Marionette's defeated, but suddenly Michael and all of the toy animatronics appear in their living room, where Michael reveals himself to be Vanessa's brother and William Afton's son, determined to carry on his father's legacy. So as he orders the toy animatronics to kill Mike, Abby, and Vanessa, the newer location's animatronics all arrive at the scene and dismantle the toys while Michael flees. Then as the souls of the animatronics started to fade away, they warned Mike about something dangerous. So in the end, when Mike and Abby leaves the house, and because Mike no longer trusts Vanessa for hiding the truth about Michael, he tells her to stay away from them. But as Mike and Abby walk off, the Marionette reawakens and possesses Vanessa, setting up Vanessa as future villain. Well, in a mid-credit scene, a group of delinquents raid the newer location in search of items that can be used for a planned haunted house attraction based on Freddy's. And like that, in their search, they discover William's corpse from the first film, still wearing his rabbit costume. And as the group leaves, his spirit takes control of the suit as it activates. Then lastly, in a post-credits voiceover by Henry, he leaves a recorded message for Mike, where he explains his relationship with Afton as former business partner and creators of the animatronics, where he warns him about the Marionette before it abruptly ends. So this movie delivers solid scares, originally thanks to impressive jump scares and the animatronics' lifelike menace from Jim Henson's Creature Shop. Well, the story and lore drag it down with overloaded exposition that confuses casual viewers. But luckily box office-wise, it's a massive hit, grossing $205 million worldwide on a $36 to $51 million budget, proving fan love overrides critics, which is at 16% in Rotten Tomatoes score. So overall, I will rate it a solid 6 out of 10. It's ambitious and Easter egg-packed for die-hard fans, but unfortunately, messy pacing holds it back from greatness. So FNAF 2's ending unpacked many things, from puppet possessions to Springtrap rising. But which of these shocked you most? Drop your theories and opinions in the comments below.